number of years, and I know some shortcuts. With a bit of trial and error, you'll find what works best for you. Let's move on to marking up. Again, this is an area that you can tweak and customize, but I consider these things to be the absolute minimum. 1. Marking difficult stresses. 2. Highlighting stage directions. 3. Making cast lists. And 4. Researching pronunciations. Now I'm going to go into each of these areas in a little more detail. Number 1. Stresses. By this, I mean underlining words that you want to emphasize in a sentence. I also mean marking any inflections, that is, where the voice rises or falls. For example, in that previous sentence, I underlined the word emphasize. By this, I mean underlining words that you want to emphasize in a sentence. See what I mean? And I made a little upward arrow on the word rises and a downward arrow on the word falls. Where the voice rises, upward arrow, or falls, downward arrow. I underline the word or make the little arrow with my pen if I'm using paper, or my finger if I'm using an app. By the way, you don't have to use underlines and arrows. You can use whatever symbols are meaningful for you. Marking stresses and inflections means that when I'm in studio, I won't have to retake the line or hesitate because I'm thinking about where the stress might be, because it's not always obvious. So mark your stresses and inflections. In the long run, it will save time. Number 2. Stage directions. What I mean by this is the clues an author gives you as to how something, usually a line of dialogue, should be delivered. For example, you might have the line, "I can't see it," she whispered. In that case, I would either circle or highlight the word whispered. Then, when I'm in studio narrating, I'll catch sight of it easily because I'm reading a little bit ahead, and I'll be able to deliver the line correctly. If I don't highlight it in some way, it might turn out something like this. "I can't see it," she whispered. "Oh," whispered, "sorry." And then I have to do a retake, and the editor has to make an edit there, or we have to roll back and re-record it. This one little trick can save you oodles of time in studio and keep you fluent, so it's one I really recommend. Number 3. Cast lists. There are a number of ways of keeping track of characters in your book, and it's important to keep track of them. I've done some blockbusters where there have been over 100 characters, 100 different voices required. And a quick look at my old cast lists tells me that there are seldom fewer than 30 voices in a novel, even if some of them are only incidental. So you need a system for keeping them straight. Here's what I do. I take a piece of paper, although this could also be done electronically. It's one area where I'm still old school. And at the top of that paper, I write the name of the book. When I come across a character for the first time, I write down his or her name on that paper, as well as the page number on which the character first appears. If the book is likely to have a lot of characters, I might jot down every page number or at least every chapter where that character speaks as I'm reading through. I use this for something I call mapping, which is a technique I'll come to in the next chapter when we go into more detail about creating voices. Then, next to the character's name, I'll write the voice I'm going to give them. Again, we'll be talking about creating voices later in more detail, but for now, let's just say I jot down a description, a few words or a sentence that means something to me. If I'm not sure yet what kind of voice that character should have, I leave that part blank and come back to it later. If I have a clear idea of the voice and I'm using my tablet with an app that lets you actually record within the text, I might do a quick sample that I can refer to. But to be honest, I rarely use that feature because I don't like stopping to listen when I'm recording, as it can break the flow. Instead, I usually keep my cast list to the side when I'm recording and quickly glance at it while still narrating to see what's coming up. This quick glance away, moving only the eyes, as I said, is a skill that takes some practice, but it's very useful, and I recommend mastering it. Or, if you don't want to rely on that, you can write your notes about the character voice on the script itself. I do that sometimes if there's room enough in the margins. I always hang on to my cast lists for a couple of reasons. If you're